right, welcome everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jake Farbin. I'm the Executive Director of Economic Mobility for the New Jersey Council of County Colleges. We're the statewide nonprofit enshrined in state law that works to strengthen and support all of you who work at our 18 community colleges. And we're pleased to bring this new webinar series to you, featuring our colleagues, who have completed their doctorate programs and their dissertations to share their learnings from their dissertation research. And for any of you who are currently in a program or have recently wrapped up a program and you've got terrific research, which you do, that you'd like to share, please reach out to me, jfarbman at njccc.org, and we'd love to be able to get you on the docket for the practitioner scholar seminars that are going to take place in the fall 2024 semester. So with that, it's my great honor and privilege to introduce my friend Anjali. And I went through doctoral school together, Dr. Anjali Thanawala, who's going to lead us in our first presentation for this hour. And we'll ask all of you, if you have questions along the way, you can type them in the chat, or if you want to hold them until Anjali's finished her presentation, and then we'll go from there. So Anjali, it's all yours. Thank you so much for being with us today, folks.
Thank you so much, Jake, for arranging this platform and providing us the opportunity to present our learnings from our dissertations. And I do see Dr. Kerrigan in the audience, and I do want to acknowledge Dr. Kerrigan, who had been a great help and was part of my dissertation committee. And thank you so much, Dr. Kerrigan, attending it today. And without wasting any further moment, I'm going to share my slides and get started. All right, so my dissertation is factors that lead to the success of inner city Hispanic students in STEM dual enrollment, a mixed method study. And I am Anjali Thanawala. I'm Director for Grants Administration at Bergen Community College. I do see several of my colleagues attending today's presentation. Thank you so much. And I do know a few others from my previous jobs at various other community colleges. So thank you so much. Let's get into this. So why I got into this interesting topic, why it was so interesting to me, because Hispanics are becoming one of the largest minorities, and they will not be minority anymore. The Hispanic population reached 63.6 million in 2022, which is 50.5 million from 50.5 million in 2010. And this is a 26% increase in Hispanic population, faster than our 8% growth rate nationwide. So what does that tell us? That we really have to bring in Hispanic students in STEM education if we want to continue to be the world leaders in technology and various other things that we do as a country. So according to a Pew Research Center report from April 2021, Hispanic people make up to 17% of total workforce, but only 8% of workers in the STEM field. So you know why I'm talking about it, that if Hispanic students are going to be the largest population in our demographic demographic of our colleges, we need to encourage them in all subject areas, especially in STEM. I'm just going to give you an example of Bergen. We were at 28% before pandemic for Hispanic population at our institution. We are at 43% now. And our STEM enrollments have been stagnant. There is no special increase in our STEM enrollment. So that's why it is important to consider Hispanic students in STEM, and especially in dual enrollment. Little participation by Hispanic students in STEM and dual enrollment has been seen, but there are some anomalies for sure. These were my research questions. I really wanted to know what factors affect the participation of STEM students. I was interested in the ones who are participating in STEM? What is helping them, participate in these STEM fields, STEM areas, so that we can duplicate those for others, how we can encourage others to participate in it. So these were the two main questions that guided my dissertation. What factors support the success of Hispanic high school students, and how do these factors help Hispanic students from inner city school districts in STEM dual enrollment activities at a local community college? I was at another community college, which was considered his inner city college. So my research was based off that college. So these are some general factors that affect Hispanics in STEM majors. I'm not talking about dual enrollment as yet. It's about what affects Hispanics in participating STEM majors. So availability of opportunities in STEM areas, it's well-known fact that students needs to be hands-on in STEM areas as early as their middle school or even earlier than that, but that becomes a major factor why some people get involved in STEM majors and others do not participate in STEM areas as much. Then there are a lot of cognitive factors such as self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is when you think that you can do it. So if you can do it, you will more likely to do those things than, oh, I don't know math. Oh, I don't have the DNA for math. I cannot do that. Then that has happened many times among students. I have some of you may have experienced firsthand as well when students come in, oh, I don't have this ability. I cannot do math, which is not true. It's about self-efficacy. There are other non-cognitive factors that helps also in understanding a student's interest in STEM. Role of 2-year and 4-year degree colleges is a major impact in creating the STEM pipeline for the country. So various social and cultural factors, these were my favorite when I was looking into my dissertation, when I was doing all the research. So peer influence is a great influencing factor. If your friends are participating in a STEM field, you more than likely will participate in a similar profession or similar major because your friend is doing it, or if you're hanging after school, participating in a robotics club or a STEM club, you may tag along and may want to participate in it. If you have mentors encouraging you, hey, this is a good field. Why don't you want to look into aviation? Why don't you want to look into engineering? Hey, math is interesting too. Let's do some math after school. So that kind of mentorship is very helpful. And parents is a great influence. If your parents are working in a STEM related field, you more or less likely to get influenced by that. You kind of, because that's the talk of the house usually, you get influenced. Family culture versus academic culture. So that is a great factor also in the social cultural factor list. If you have a family where you all the time talk about engineering, math, physics, you tend to talk about that. You tend to gravitate towards it. And environmental factors is another factor that became highlighted in my dissertation. If you have satellite campuses around where you live, and especially we were talking about inner city school kids, some of them are not in the range of a community college or in the range of a 4-year degree college where they can go pursue a degree program, especially in STEM. That became a major factor. The transportation, the cost of transportation, parents involved in taking you back and forth from the college, how you will go to the college, that becomes a major factor in the participation of Hispanic students in STEM majors. So the role of community college in improving retention is in Hispanic STEM students. I feel that we have to step up and do some more outreach starting high school level, and in fact as a middle school level also, where we can encourage students to have hands-on. Right now I'm in a position where I can affect the change a little bit in my area. We are creating a lot of programs through our grants to have students come over our campus during the summer after school to have to participate in various programs. So these are some of the changes, some of the areas where you can impact in your roles, how you can encourage students to participate in STEM. We have programs in, we have two big grants right now from USDA, which are also kind of STEM focused along with agriculture. So those kind of grants are a great place to begin in bringing students in. And early introduction to college atmosphere and curriculum, that's a major, major point. We now have developed a big lead in dual enrollment in New Jersey. A lot of people now know about dual enrollment. When I was working on this dissertation several years ago, dual enrollment was still a new word for a lot of high schools and for a lot of parents, but it's now catching up. A lot of people talk about dual enrollment. A lot of parents are interested in their kids in dual enrollment. So that's an important, I would say, area where we have made major progress, but we have to do a lot more than that. At Bergen, we have a campus high school on our campus, and we do offer a associate's degree to that that high school. So students are quite interested in, coming on campus, taking classes and participate in more of STEM related degree programs. So programs like that are, I would say, is the need of the day in encouraging STEM programs. So my next slide talks about factors that really affect STEM dual enrollment. So we are doing a lot of these things on our campuses, but what affects students, especially the Hispanic students in STEM dual enrollment? Why, although we are making all these efforts, it's still not resulting in what we are trying to see in our schools? Lack of certified STEM teachers, it's not a new thing that I'm talking about. We all know that our K-12 settings lack STEM teachers, especially physical sciences and chemistry. It's still a very big problem for our nation, that not many people want, those who are good in STEM, they don't want to go in teaching. So a lot of grants like B2B grant, a lot of, there are other Robert Noyce grants that are helping teachers take STEM as their majors. So student support services such as tutoring, counseling, advisement, all these student support services are important for helping high school students take interest in STEM related areas. Parent involvement, I would say, is one big thing. When your parents provide you the required support to take interest in a robotics team or after school web designing competition or a hackathon or something like that, that helps students a lot when they see that, okay, our parents are vested in it. But if the parents, it's not important that parents need to know about those areas, but their support is important. If the parents are supporting their children about, okay, wow, yeah, you are doing great. You are building a robot. Great idea. How can I help you? Do you need any support from me? Can I take you somewhere? That all can help. Socioeconomic status of the family is another major factor that helps students in STEM dual enrollment. Sometimes, especially for the Hispanic student population that we are talking about, because sometimes, and this is this came from my firsthand experience, where families, it was a downhill battle with them that, okay, I need my child to work after school, not come take a dual enrollment class. They don't understand the economics of taking a course than working for $10 an hour kind of job. So that affects the participation of students in dual enrollment. Testing and intake process. So that was also something that led to, new changes in the policies where I was working at the time. A lot of these students who wanted to take dual enrollment courses in STEM, they did not qualify based on our AccuPlacer intake for qualifying them for STEM dual enrollments. So how we are taking the students for our dual enrollment opportunities, that matters a lot. We do have to look into our intake processes and testing processes to allow a lot more students qualify for these programs, especially if we're talking about Hispanic students who come underprepared most often. And then this is very interesting, my last bullet, and we looked into that when I was doing my dissertation, that the history of Hispanics in the United States, what were their origin in higher education, in K-12 education. Most Hispanic students in the early, in mid-90s, early 90s, they did not come with the mindset of acquiring, higher education or getting involved in high schools, or so their approach was not to go into STEM degree programs. So, and the system has treated Hispanic students more or less similarly for several decades. It's changing now, but it hasn't been there where it has to be. We have to encourage students that yes, this is a field for you as well. So these are the factors that were identified in the literature at that point when I was looking into my dissertation. So I got into a mixed method research study design for my dissertation, and that helped me triangulate a lot of data. What does mixed method research study design means? That I collected data both quantitatively and qualitatively, and then analyzed the data from both sets. So I had done surveys and observations, and then also conducted in-depth interviews, and then collected data, was looked together, and there was a merger of results, and then there was an interpretation of results, so that I can conclude because the data set was not thousands of students, it's only hundreds of students. So for the accuracy of data, mixed methods worked for my dissertation. So this is the study framework. I really wanted to point this because we always looked into what does not help our students. Why are our students not succeeding? We never look into why some of our students are succeeding and how we can duplicate that. So that was the mindset for my dissertation. I looked into the success of the students that succeeded. There were a handful of Hispanic students that I worked with at that time who were excelling. I do want to give names of some, but just to keep their privacy, but I do want to tell you that one of them is now a pilot. Another one is an engineer. He graduated from Columbia. And actually, two of them are engineers. One graduated from Columbia and another one graduated from Rutgers. So I have a few more students that I can call, but the one who is a pilot, he went on from Passaic to Bergen to finish his aviation degree. And now he is a pilot, a commercial pilot. So I was very proud to see those students progress, and they did start with the college at that time in their dual enrollment program, and it was not easy for them, but they worked hard. They had to repeat AccuPlacer. They had to repeat their first math courses, their initial courses, but the determination and several factors that led to their success. So this is what I found in my dissertation and in my in-depth interviews and surveys with a lot of students who were successful. So a lot of academic factors were there. So a lot of after-school activities that they participated in. I was in a program that offered hands-on activities in STEM area at that point. And that influenced these students. They were inner city students. They wanted to protect themselves from the inner city, bad influence. And for them, participating in these after-school activities was a safe haven and sparked an interest in STEM. So that was very big influence in their success in STEM dual enrollment. They viewed dual enrollment as future success in higher education. They were motivated, they were self-motivated. There was a self-efficacy for STEM. They were of the mindset that, oh yes, I can do it. I know that. Or my uncle works in so-and-so electrical firm, and I have seen him work on as an electrician, but I want to do more than that. And but the basic understanding of that electricity, how does electricity work, kind of sparked their interest. The self-efficacy was there. And then for the success of some of these students, they were in touch with some really influential high school teachers who were motivating them, who were taking them places to spark their interest in STEM. So they were involved in a lot of hands-on in high school, also in various STEM projects at high school, and that helped them. And they came in bunches. They were friends flocking together, attending these after-school activities, after-school dual enrollment classes. So they came as a group. They were only, I would want to say, out of the 5 students that I interviewed, in-depth interviews, one was standalone, but all others were taking classes with their friends. So that was a great factor. And then mentors were very important in their lives. And their self-motivation to get out of that inner city life and get a better life out of what they are living, that was a big factor. They knew that if I get a degree in a computer science, I can start with a 100K job. So that kind of influence was there in their lives. And taking leadership roles at their high schools, they were all involved in some sort of leadership at their high school, and they all had no STEM culture at home. So that was not a factor affecting them also, although literature talks about that there has to be some factors. Your parents have to be STEM majors, or they have to be, that works for some cultures, but not for all. It's not a predetermined factor. That's what came out of my findings. So that is important to know, that we can spark interest in STEM areas for a lot of people, even if that's not the culture at home. So economic factor was a big influence. If we are able to offer free dual enrollment credit, that takes students' interest to the next level, and their parents' support to a next level. So that was something that came out of my findings. Then there were environmental factors. There were a few high schools where students were interested, but because the high school was not connected with a transportation, a bus, they did not have parents bring them in to the classes when they were offered. They were not after 5 p.m. classes. So all those factors were important factors in their participation in dual enrollment. So those who succeeded, their parents were very dedicated. They would drive them to the campus. They would pick them from the campus. And they also live very close to the satellite campuses in the county that I work for. So these were some important findings. And this is something that I want to, offer, that parental support is a very strong, solid foundation for kids to participate in dual enrollment after, especially because they are high school students. Parents are always concerned that they are still in high school. So as community college educators, I think we also have to reach out to parents to influence their kids' participation in dual enrollment while they are in high school. Influence of math and science teachers, how we can help K-12 teachers in participating in professional development and providing them opportunities to visit our campuses. and how they can, how we can help them affect the change, basically. Free tuition, that's there are a lot of opportunities right now. CRN is one opportunity that I can think about, which almost all community colleges have right now, that can provide free tuition to some acuplacer preparation, early math preparation, leading to dual enrollment. So please use those grant funds to influence if you can. Self-motivation and desire to defeat the status quo, that's very important, that students should have that. And how we can affect that, we have to look into that. No cultural bias. So we have to help them understand that it's okay. You do not have to have a DNA that leads you to a math or a science degree. Everyone can do a science and math degree. And yeah, college site distance, that affects, but we may not have control on that, but that does affect on their participation. All right. Any questions for me? I can open it for discussion.
I don't see anything in the chat. Folks, we might have time for one or two questions. If anyone has a question, feel free to raise your hand, raise your Zoom hand, or just jump right in. Well, I'll be the one to break the ice then.
Okay.
Anjali, I saw on your recommendations they're specific for particular target population of students as you studied in your dissertation, but it seems to me like some of these would be transcendent, right? Transcendent.
Correct.
And it's almost as if a lot of what you learned from your study and what you're able to and your findings is that there are other factors that some of these recommendations are going to be applicable to. So for example, the college site distance. I think about our rural community colleges, the rural community college I went to down in South Jersey. The fact that it was so far away was a barrier for several of my friends when I was in high school. And I think about the economics of it, the opportunity to have free tuition, that's going to transcend not just this particular population of students, but other particular populations of students. So I'm curious to know, maybe this is a question not just to you, but to others who are on the line today. If you mentioned CRN as one of the great tools, and maybe I'm a little too close to it because I administered it for so many years, but I'm wondering how effective I mean, I know it has been, but could you give us some specific examples from your work with college readiness now, as far as what you've been able to do to move the needle on getting students prepared for college, interested in STEM fields, and how you may have used that grant to help address some of these challenges here? No one wants to jump in. It's a multi-layered question.
Jake, actually, I can answer a part of your question. Here at Bergen, we are offering a lot of, foundation courses in math and English to some of the schools that qualify for the grant. There is a lot of interest in taking acuplacer before the next semester starts. So a lot of people work during the summer to improve their basic math and basic English skills, or the developmental English math skills. So it is picking up, and it's more on our part how many high schools we reach out to provide these opportunities. Some schools have, like Bergen, we have a dedicated office for dual enrollment. Some schools may not have that kind of office to reach out to various schools. So this is something to be considered as community college leaders, that how can we expand dual enrollment for various areas. And I do want to include that this dissertation was done before pandemic. Pandemic has opened doors for online college. So that can be another avenue where we can reach out to even high school students. I think that high school students are way more capable these days, online education wise. My 11-year-old can do everything online because she was second grader when she started doing online courses. So that is another avenue. If we cannot have, I mean, we cannot have college sites every nick and corner of the state, but online dual enrollment can be another way to reach out to these students who are interested in, expanding their college portfolio before they actually come to colleges.
Anjali, thank you. One question in the chat, and then we'll pivot to Dr. Harris's presentation. So do you contact parents directly, and how? Olga asking the question, I assume it's about dual enrollment programs. How are parents involved in the dual enrollment work that you do?
So we do not contact parents directly, but during this dissertation and working closely with dual enrollment offices, the dual enrollment offices go to the parent nights at various high schools where they have ability to access students. So the parents show up, and if you have a table at a high school, you have the opportunity to speak to a parent or two. So that's how colleges have reached out to the parents. And during our open houses at our places, we can have a dual enrollment table for parents to know if one of their kid may be still in high school or in middle school, and have them at least understand that these are the opportunities. So dual enrollment offices reach out to high schools and coordinate these efforts.
Well, Dr. Thanawala, thank you for being our leadoff hitter
Thank
today
you.
and for the whole spring semester series. We appreciate it. Thank you all for your attention, and thank you for being with us. Now we're going to pivot, if that's all right. We have two presentations in the hour. Let's turn to Dr. Theresa Harris, a longtime adjunct at Rowan College of Burlington County, if I'm correct. And Anjali, if you can stop your screen share, and we'll ask Theresa to share hers. And then the floor is yours. Thank you so much, Theresa.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being with us.
Yes. I'm going to share my screen. So I am an adjunct instructor at Rowan University of Burlington County. I've taught there as an adjunct for the last more than 36 years. When it first started, it was Burlington County College, and it changed names and merged with Rowan University. The topic of my dissertation is high school students' motivation for engagement and academic success, a case study. The problem statement is it was not known how high school students were motivated to engage and achieve academic success in high school, resulting in their graduation from the perspectives of community college students in Southern New Jersey. Due to the dropout rate in this country and the government monitoring numbers of dropouts and number of graduates, many previous studies focused on at-risk students who may potentially drop out of high school, with little attention on students who remained in school and became high school graduates. Studies show that more research was needed related to students who succeeded in school, engaged and succeeded. Factors influencing student engagement in academic activities were largely unknown. The research questions for the study were two. The first was, how did motivating influences inspire high school students to engage and achieve academic success in high school from college students' perspectives? College students were selected because they embraced so-called successful students who graduated high school, who were motivated to the point where they wanted to continue their education. Research question 2, how did motivating influences related to autonomy, competence, and relatedness inspire high school students to engage and achieve academic success in high school?
School lesson. And just like this morning,
from college students' perspectives. Those terms are utilized because they are part of the self-determination theory that the dissertation was based on. The methodology was a qualitative with a case study design. And that was selected because in-depth descriptive information was sought to explore the participants' thoughts and understanding of their personal experiences. And I must say that their comments during the interviews and during the questionnaires were profound, they were detailed, transparent, and invaluable. And a few of those comments will be included in this presentation. The data sources were a questionnaire that was placed on SurveyMonkey. Part 1 of the questionnaire included demographic information for them to input, and part 2 were questions related to high school motivation. In addition to the questionnaire, and 49 total students were included in the study. All of them completed the questionnaire. A few of them, 10, were selected from the questionnaires to participate in individual interviews, and a small focus group was also included in the study. Findings of the study. For research question 1, 4 themes were relayed from the study. And those themes is, how did motivating influences inspire the high school students to engage and achieve success? The themes were relationships, influence, and that theme divided into 3 areas: parents and family influence, teachers influence, and peers influence. The second theme that evolved was curriculum influence, and that was in 2 parts. One was the content of curriculum, and the other was the presentation of the curriculum, how it was presented to the students. School environment was a great influence, and self-motivation was also an influence. Research question 2 findings: how did motivating influences related to autonomy, competence, and relatedness inspire the students? The results were divided into 3 major themes: that goals and interests influenced them, which related to autonomy; achievement influenced them, which related to competence; and bonding influenced them, which related to relatedness. Significant motivators in the findings was very, very interesting and very profound. These are the areas that were credited with being great motivating factors. The first was relationships influence, where 100% of the participants indicated relationships was a great influence to them, and 100% indicated that their parents were a great influence to them. In fact, of the combination of the individual interviews and the focus group, 77% of them indicated that their parents were the greatest motivators of them. They were the greatest. All of them described their parents as very inspiring. One person commented, My parents always hammered into me, you're going to college. Another one stated, my parents encouraged me on how important education is. Teachers was another, the second great motivating factors, equal with parents, where 100% indicated that teachers inspired them and motivated them in school. Teachers who demonstrated caring and concern for students made a lasting impact on the participants. One student stated, my teachers were a big help because they really seemed like they cared about us and wanted us to succeed. Another student indicated that when teachers took the time to find out about the students individually, to care about their life, to ask them questions, to find out about their life, about their interests, as well as shared information about themselves, that they really had a great impact on their students, and the students wanted to do well in their courses. Some teachers provided safe havens for students. One student stated that she was bullied for a good portion of high school, but her music teacher allowed her to eat lunch in her class, and after school she could go there. And so that was a motivating, saving factor for her. Curriculum influence also was significant, where the relevancy of curriculum played a part in motivating students. Curriculum content related to careers, as well as transitioning to life after graduation, was motivating to some participants. One stated, I generally did better in the classes that I believed were the most applicable to me. Also, some students indicated that curriculum that prepared them for life after high school, that prepared them, those that wanted to go to college, what to expect in college, and prepared them for life, were particularly motivating. The presentation of curriculum, not just the relevancy of it to students' lives, but how engaging the lessons were a great influence. One student stated, I had the fun chemistry teacher that was always lighting stuff on fire and keeping the class active and involved in stuff. I was always, let us go to chemistry. I loved the class, did not want to leave, paid attention, took notes. I think that played a pretty big role. The environment of the school was very significant, very important in students' engagement and motivation to even remain in school. They found that, and in my study, I found that schools that provided structure, safety, high academic standards, encouragement, and support to students were great. Students felt safe there, they felt motivated there, and so it had a great influence on them. One student indicated that as she relayed appreciation for her academically oriented magnet high school, the school held a motto of you will succeed. Nothing will stop your success. You will succeed. She voiced that motto was demonstrated by the entire school. Teachers were immensely helpful and supportive to all students. They even offered their phone numbers so students could contact them at home if they had questions. Students helped and encouraged each other. She stated even the cafeteria staff encouraged students to succeed. Another student indicated that he went to 2 different high schools. And in the first high school, he said there was little discipline. The students were misbehaving in the class, not paying attention, disrupting the class, and he was not motivated to even do his best in that school. However, he changed to a second school, and he stated that, one second. He observed students paying attention, submitting their work, order was kept in the classroom, they were all well behaved, and he was greatly motivated by that and decided that he wanted to copy after his peers. So his peers and the school influenced him to do his best because that is what was expected in that school. Another major influence was self-motivation. Some students stated that they depended on themselves, their own level of desire to do well, their level to graduate high school, to push themselves in spite of. One student mentioned that she had a rough time, particularly in her senior year. And, you know, she even wondered if she was going to make it or stay in and graduate. But she says she pushed herself in spite of everything that was going on so that she could graduate. So self-motivation was a great influence. Goals and interests influence was also a big motivator. Some participants noted that their visions and hopes for their future encouraged them to push themselves to academic success. Others noted a love for learning that inspired them. Some had specific careers that they were striving for. Some indicated they absolutely were looking forward to graduating and going to college. And so goals and interests played a big part. Achievement influence, competence was also a great motivator, where some students were very achievement oriented. They wanted to get good grades. Some loved the recognition that the school provided for them, where they would sometimes hold an assembly and they would be acknowledged. And so achieving and doing well was a great influencer. And last but definitely not least, the bonding influence, or relatedness, which 100% indicated that that was a great influencer. Before I go into that, for goals and interests, that was also 100%, where the participants felt that that was a great influence. The bonding with their school, with the teachers, bonding with their school promoted motivation. For some of them, they felt welcomed and connected to their school environment. One indicated, my 2 AP English teachers and my student council advisor showed so much compassion and were basically like my parents at school. That made me want to attend their classes and attend school overall. They gave me hope. Relationships fostered more engagement and academic focus in those classes. Teachers that reached out to students, cared, and interacted with them fostered bonds that encouraged students, as well as meeting the students' needs for relatedness. I also wanted to go back to the parent and family, because some students indicated that not only their parents were supportive, but other members of the family, such as their grandparents, One indicated that her sister was a great role model to her and she wanted to follow in her footsteps. Some indicated that their entire family was motivational to them, where even when they visit, they would ask, how are your grades? How's school coming? How you doing? Also comments from parents and family, you know, such as, I'm proud of you, you're doing well, were also motivators. Recommendations. School environments should be evaluated and revamped by administrators based on feedback not only from teachers and parents, but also from students, to promote students feeling safe and connected to the school. If a student is worried about being bullied or worried about being victimized, they're not going to be able to focus and do well in school. So school environments are important. Student perspectives must be considered in various aspects of the educational processes. This includes curriculum planning of subjects offered, where students absolutely should be encouraged to have a selection to select courses, some of their courses that they're interested in. Administrators and educators must place a high priority on promoting teacher efficacy and establishing positive student-teacher relationships. That was glowing in this study, emphasized in this study. Students feeling connected to their teachers and school fosters retention of students. One participant talked about how she was a minority in her school, and not just a member of minority group, ethnic group, but also in numbers. And she felt that some of her teachers could not relate to someone from a different ethnicity, but she was able to still proceed and continue and finish school in spite of that. All teachers becoming proficient in engagement practices and techniques to promote student engagement is essential. Students indicated, you know, that they did not engage in classes that were presented in a boring type manner. They wanted more than just PowerPoints or that type of thing. They wanted the class to be presented in a way that they were engaged and made it interesting and made it fun. Additionally, teachers should help all students meet academic standards, along with fostering environments where students feel that they belong and are valued. One student commented that instead of a teacher saying, you're not doing well in this class, the teacher should say, how can I help you do well in this class? And in fact, teachers who provided their time after school or before school to help students who were struggling were great motivators. Educators and parents should seek and maintain awareness of students' goals and aspirations. That's very important. You know, even not only courses to help students to learn about different careers and that type of thing, but also discussions with them and assistance and where they can get resources on careers and things related to their goals. Activities and courses that assist students in developing career interests are warranted. This study found that students' pursuits of their defined goals help motivate them to persevere and remain in school to graduate. Are there any questions?
Well, first, let me say, Theresa, thank you so much for sharing this with us today, and the overlap from what Anjali shared earlier studying STEM students of Hispanic ethnicity, and you studying students who had recently graduated high school who were in community college, the overlap of some of the success factors, I think it offers a lot to all of us of how we can continue to advance the work in the classroom, tutoring, and beyond to provide that level of support that you folks have found in your dissertation. So thank you for sharing. We have one question here from Kelly Ewing. Kelly, thank you for asking the question. Dr. Harris, I think you addressed part of this in your next to last slide as you went back to the parent-family relationship and you shared the example of the older sister encouraging this her younger sibling, how you doing? How we going? Keep going, go, but she asks, thank you, Dr. Harris. Did your study include the effect on participants' motivation as influenced by household size or birth order?
That is it not, but that would be a good runoff study, for someone to consider in the future. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have any other questions across the board, folks, from any of our attendees today? All right. Well, we're right up against 1 o'clock. Dr. Harris, thank you. Dr. Thanawala, thank you. Thank you all once again, and be well, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you so much.